So after Mexico kicked things off yesterday with the opening game, all eyes turned to Vancouver and Canada this afternoon, and their turn to start their hosting duties. But this evening, it's all about the USA, and so I've come down to the Leinster Sports Bar here in Miami, where the American Football Supporters Club Miami branch have gathered. I've taken on my VIP wristband. I've joined the fan club to come down and speak to some fans. And let me tell you, I've got a fantastic interview with Danny, an American soccer fan, a fascinating guy, not just about soccer, but about all the themes of Fan 48. So that's coming up. But before all of that, let's take in the atmosphere pre-game and some of those goals. So I'm down here at the Leinster pub, an Irish pub in Miami, complete with a Guinness. It's quite a terrible Guinness, I'll be honest. Have you had the Guinness here?
I'm American, so this is like a good Guinness for me. But you're from England,
I'm from London, yeah.
Oh,
Where are you from?
Well, I'm a Miami guy, so Miami, but born in Colombia. No, born in Colombia, raised in Miami.
Amazing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
being a Colombian, soccer is big for you.
I'm going to the Mexico match.
Great.
So
You have tickets.
I got tickets.
Amazing.
I go tomorrow.
Yeah, great. That's so exciting. Are you going too?
No, I'm not going. I'm just going to watch Ecuador here, the game on Sunday.
Yeah, amazing.
Ivory Coast.
That's so cool. Tell me about soccer culture in the USA.
You have the Outlaws, so that's good. There's a lot of Englishmen here.
Yeah?
So the pubs, it's a really good culture, honestly.
Yeah. But like, tell me about chant culture, because the chants are a bit limited, aren't they?
The chants here are very particular, I'll say that. So it's nice to follow the US, but we follow our roots back from home, the South American side.
Yeah. So you're Colombia first, USA second?
When it comes to soccer, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, outside of soccer, USA.
Yeah, okay. What are your other sports that you enjoy?
Basketball, football, hockey.
So are you Knicks or Spurs?
I'm Spurs because I'm a Miami Heat fan, but I would love New York to win it. We just
For the
don't.
history and...
But the history, I can't root for this, for
Yeah.
the Knicks, you know.
What about soccer culture, like compared to Colombian soccer culture? What are the differences, do you think?
Colombian culture, there's more loyalty to the, to being born Colombian.
Yeah.
Here is just more of a melting pot.
Yeah.
People don't love the U.S. as much as they should.
Is that your experience?
Miami is just very melting pot, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have the Ecuador fans, the Colombian fans, and then we just mix it for the U.S. But outside, we'll go crazier for our roots.
Are you part of the soccer fan club here?
Hell yeah!
Are you? And so they congregate here to watch all the games?
Well, they started here, but yes, last year they did it in Wynwood. It's just a good time.
All right.
So
And have you made friends through that?
I met a new friend today.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good. What's your name?
One.
Juan?
Amy.
Amy, I'm Rob. Nice to see you. Great. So what do you think will happen tonight?
I think the U.S. are gonna score 2 goals, one from Pulisic.
He's the poster boy, isn't he?
He's the poster boy. And Paraguay is South American. You cannot put a South American team behind your back. Like,
Yeah.
they'll come for you.
Will you have any split loyalties with it being another South American team or not really?
Hell
No,
no.
not tonight.
U.S., Colombia, that's it. Like,
Amazing.
that's all.
Well, enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, it's really hot here. The Guinness is poor, but the atmosphere is great. The American Supporters Club have assigned this to be the place to watch the matches in Miami. There's loads of branches of the American Football Team Supporters Club all around the States, but this Miami branch has done a dedicated night, so there's a VIP area. You can have a little around, there's like loads of USA shirts everywhere. Need to get better at controlling this camera. Loads of USA shirts. I got in by purchasing a scarf, which I'm donning right now, look. $30 to get me into the VIP area, but hopefully it'll be worth it. it's already interesting, just the difference in the fan culture. We've had the USA chants, which is ubiquitous across all sports, I think, when you're supporting the USA. Well, not just in sports, in politics, right? Just those chants are so synonymous with any gangs and groups of Americans congregating for events. Be interesting to see how this plays out. It's certainly, like, the atmosphere here is as dedicated as any other countries that you can imagine. There's a lot of pictures. It's really, really loud. Obviously, it's the first game. It's the host country, so there's something special about it. As Juan said there, Miami really is quite unique, I think, given it's a melting pot of so many cultures, those Latin American cultures. That's bound to have an influence in how this will be supported here, I imagine. If you're watching this game in, I don't know, Texas or Boston or, I don't know, Seattle, it's probably a different vibe. Maybe I'll find out on the trip, but for now, we're about 20 minutes before the kickoff. Hopefully I'll chat to some other people. Paraguay national anthem. Can't see many people singing or joining in, but I'm getting ready for the USA national anthem. We all know the Americans love a bit of patriotism.
Coke Zero.
Here we go. I should don my scarf. Here we go. Really should be inside, I think. Tom's singing along. Here's the chant. Well, it seems like the action really was inside there. So, USA host. So it's just time for one ad break before the real stuff starts. It was good. I'm sure we'll hear better renditions of the national anthem amongst the crowd, but the guy singing was pretty good. Let's kick off. See who we can find.
I want to create a legacy.
The Americans have scored 7 minutes into the game. The bars erupted. I was a bit slow on the press there. Whee! You left at the wrong time, man. Did you get there? USA have just come close again for a possible second 15 minutes in. Before I headed down here to the Leinster pub, the Irish pub that I'm at, I spent, don't judge me, I spent the afternoon in Soho House, the Miami pool house. It's very near where I live. It's a lovely place to go sit. And that's in fact where I watched the Canada game this afternoon. It was in a lovely little room, TV was on, and there was 5 other guys in there alongside me. Oh! 3 of which were Venezuelan guys, 3 Venezuelan guys who live here in Miami. Encyclopedic about their football knowledge. Now, I didn't want to get the microphones out and record the conversations, but part of me wish I had, because we spent an hour and a half talking not just about football, our World Cup memories, but also it drifted into politics. Jose, who is a historian and a real Anglophile who's very, very up on his English history, and I don't mean recent history, I mean like full English history, empire, Henry VIII. He was really interested in the idea that Henry VIII just decided, you know, like he was done with the Catholic Church and created his own church in his own image, and now millions of people follow the Church of England around the world, mainly in Africa, of course. We ended up talking about colonialism, all sorts of things. Really, really fascinating guy. But what was really interesting for me was getting a perspective on Britain and the UK from someone else. I want to try and do that around fan culture as and when I can sit down and have a proper conversation with someone. But to listen to Jose talk about Britain, England as he called it, British Empire, British influence around the world, the monarchy. He talked about Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, Keir Starmer. There's just awareness of all those things. Now, obviously, he's an historian. I think you could meet a historian in London who would be as interested in American or indeed Venezuelan culture. Maybe I just looked out on that. It's always really interesting to get the perspectives. We end up talking a lot about where the World Cup should be. He was a massive advocate of the fact that a culture like England should host the World Cup, and it should only ever be one country hosting the World Cup. He didn't like this idea of splitting the World Cup over 3 host nations. He felt it diluted the host country culture. He loved the idea of the fact that if it was in England or Spain or as it was in Germany, where you could drive 2 hours and be at the next stadium, an hour and be at the next stadium, where you could really get the whole country immersed in one tournament. I know where he's coming from in that, but I think there's something really rich about being able to explore 3 different cultures, for me, selfishly, on this trip, but I totally get where he's coming. I also met another chap at Soho House. He described himself as an American, but with Colombian origin, so he'd be split in his loyalties. Massive Premier League fan and a huge Barcelona fan. He travelled, he's done 6 El Clasicos. I really hope maybe to try and pick up and have a sit down with him at some point and find out about his experience of just being that Colombian-American and a massive, massive football fan. Where does that come from? Why does he love it so much? Why has he crossed the world to watch football in Spain? 6 El Clasicos and a big Barcelona fan removed. Hopefully I'll get the chance. So one of the incentives to be here at the Leinster is that every time the USA score, we get a shot. So
USA!
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 Cheers to USA, guys! USA! Cheers! Ooh, peach cordial. Oh, nice. Come on, USA, we need more goals. More shots. I'm traveling the United States, Canada, and Mexico, trying to meet a fan from each of the 48 competing countries.
Cool.
So yeah, I'll be heading all over for the next 6 weeks.
That sounds incredible.
So here I am in Miami, and obviously you're a USA fan. You said to me a minute ago that you follow soccer religiously. Where did that come from?
When I was a kid, I grew up with only sisters.
Okay.
All sisters. So sports are very rare in my house.
Yeah.
But I have cousins from France, and they kind of indoctrinated me, and they're boy cousins. So
yes,
I was like, whatever they like, I liked. And yeah.
Where in France were they from?
They're from Reims and Strasbourg.
Okay,
Yeah.
So does that make you a Strasbourg fan?
More Reims. Just because they're terrible, so I kind of feel bad for them.
You like an underdog?
Yeah. Hence, the USA support as well.
Yeah. And so you watch the Premier League as well?
I do. Yeah, but I grew up a Manchester United fan. When I was a kid, that was the only team that would air on TV in English here in Miami.
Okay.
So I grew up watching Ronaldo and Rooney at their prime.
And you still follow Man U now?
Man United, yeah. Never Man U, Man United. Yeah.
I'm a Leeds United fan.
Oh, that's why. Oh my God. That explains everything.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So talk to me then about following the USA national team.
Yeah.
You know, it's obviously soccer isn't the #1 sport here. Is that your experience? Is that how it feels here?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of state by state, almost city by city.
Really?
Yeah.
We need more shots.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of, it's like the United States. Every state has its own characteristics. Every city has its own characteristics. And the same goes for the sports that they support. I think in Miami you get a lot more football culture here. So it's easier to be a U.S. fan. And like places like Texas and Georgia. But, you know, when I lived in New York and Boston, it could be kind of like there's so many people from other places that no one really cared about the U.S. It was everyone else's teams that they were paying attention to. So, it can be hard to support the U.S. because nobody cares kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But in Miami, it's a little bit easier because there's so many people that follow football that it's easy to strike up a conversation and to feel like you're not a weirdo for following soccer football.
How has Inter Miami and the growth of that team changed it in Florida?
That's been like putting gasoline on fire.
Yeah.
You know, soccer's always been big here, and finally having a local team to support that has been like oxygen. And that's before Messi. You know, it's definitely helped. They've done a lot of, before Messi came, Inter Miami would do a lot of, like in this neighborhood, setting up pickup matches and just promoting local soccer. And so it's been what the city needed. Because there was a desire there already. And I think David Beckham knew that. Like, the desire was here. It just needed a team's.
And where does it sit in the hierarchy of the Heat and the Dolphins? And obviously
it's a carousel.
Yeah.
When it comes to Miami, that's the one tough thing about Miami is that fandom is very fair weather. They only care if they're in playoffs or, you know, or a championship team. So last year was great because Inter Miami was doing great. But the second that they start slipping up, which like at the beginning of the season they start slipping up, people stop caring. There's still a huge fan base, especially up in Broward, Fort Lauderdale.
I'm sorry I'm distracting you.
It's all good. Yeah.
USA, just for context, they're really pressing for this third goal.
Yeah.
Ooh,
which was my prediction, 3-0. So,
was it?
Yeah, all these guys would give me shit about it. I was like, no, 3-0.
Oh, good. You know your soccer. Talk to me about patriotism in relationship to sport here in the US. As a Brit watching from across the pond, it always feels like USA has a stronger patriotism than is appropriate, you know, from a British sentiment.
Yeah.
What's your relationship to that?
That's one of the great things about the United States. I mean, anywhere really, but it's you do what you want. Like a lot of people feel really patriotic and proud. And these are great moments for people to rally around and kind of forget about differences. But also, if you want to like focus on and use these moments as a stage to talk about injustices or, you know, any sort of wrong that you think the country is committing, you're free to do so. You know, it's like that was like the big thing with kneeling, right, during the anthem, which was such a divisive thing in our country. But there was no law that said they couldn't kneel.
Yeah.
They could still kneel. They could still do what they wanted. And you kind of feel that sense with patriotism. Like, yeah, this is a moment where we can all rally together and love our country. But it's also a moment where you can reflect and look in the mirror and say, like, okay, why are we proud? Should we be proud about X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. Do you feel that sport is often the focal point for those kind of reflections?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, like, oddly, it's kind of a more healthy environment than, like, usually it's social media. Usually it's just everyone's on their phones. You know, they're being fed content that only 2% of people are creating on like a social media app.
Yeah.
So it's like not an organic or real conversation. Whereas when it comes to sports, like when you're in a bar sitting around watching a game and someone's like USA, USA, like you can talk to that person right in front of you and engage and talk about problems. That like there's no other really like a social experience besides voting.
Yeah.
Where it's so open and like patriotism or love of a country is openly questioned, you know, as we're doing now. Like you wouldn't be asking me this question if the World Cup was not.
Yeah.
So
but do you have any what's your relationship to the idea about how therefore the USA hosting this might have a legacy beyond the tournament itself about those kind of ideas of unity and/or division.
Yeah, I think it's always like the dream is that it helps, right? Like that's the hope that like these things help people recognize that their neighbor is their neighbor. Like it doesn't matter who they voted for. Like you should still make sure they're okay when they slip and fall or something like that. Like it's these kind of communal events that should help us all recognize our similarities. And I think it does help a little bit, but in this cycle, like news cycle and what have you, it's sometimes the benefits are very short lasting.
Yeah.
And especially we have so we have a midterm election coming up.
Yeah.
So
it's a divisive time.
Yeah, everything's great now, and everything will be great until July. 4th of July is awesome. Everyone's happy. And then come November, we're right back where we started.
Yeah.
But hopefully that, like, if it was a measurable thing, like anger and divisiveness, hopefully it goes down just a tiny, tiny bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing you can hope for.
But it strikes me that you're a thoughtful person about those kind of issues in the first place. Do you feel that that's a widely held perspective, or?
I don't think, so I can't speak for other people.
Cool.
I think sometimes people don't really think about it. It's just like an internal thing, you know, that like happens in the subconscious as you're going about your day. You realize like, oh, like I had a great time at that bar with all those random people. Yeah, it kind of opens you up to strangers a little bit, to other ideas, like seeing different countries, and like I think that for some people it happens subconsciously and it has an impact. Other people don't think about it at all. Other people, like, it brings up the conversations and it just makes people even more divided. It makes them say, like, actually, I hate your ideas, you know? Like, now that we're talking about it, screw you.
Yeah.
So,
to what extent do you think Miami as a city is playing into that kind of collective narrative? Because I'm just speaking from my limited experience of being here. It feels like Miami brings a unique perspective relative to perhaps some other American cities about, we talk about melting pots and all those things, but it really is very apparent.
Yeah, it's nicknamed as the capital of Latin America. So we have like everybody from everywhere in Latin America, Central America, you know, the Caribbean, they're all here. And so it's definitely a really unique place in that regard. You know, it's up there with the likes of New York, LA, like these very diverse communities.
When did you grow up?
I grew up here.
Great.
Yeah, I grew up here. I lived in New York, lived in Boston. I lived in Dublin for a little bit. Then I hate that when the
perspective there looked like the ball was going in the net and it was coming in the other direction.
It gets me every time. Yeah, Miami's definitely a special place in that you get different perspectives, especially from a part of the world that like is often ignored. You know, like in Western society, we're very Eurocentric, and like you forget about places like Paraguay, Panama, Costa Rica, like. But here you're surrounded by people from there 24/7.
Yeah.
So it gives that perspective, but like we also lack in a lot of perspectives. Like the U.S. is a huge place. There's not a lot of people here from the Midwest, from the Pacific Northwest. Like there's so many places that Miami doesn't have representation. And so I think when we always talk about like representation, we always think about like foreign places, when it's like, well, the concept of the United States is that like anybody outside of Florida, those are different countries. Really, each 50 state is a different country in itself. And so like Miamians are like, oh, we're super diverse. It's like, well, have you ever talked to anybody from Montana? And they're like, no, who cares about Montana? And you're like, well, that's like you're being ignorant. You're forgetting about a whole swath of people. So it's definitely a great place with lots of diversity, but there's other places too that offer different perspectives that, you know, and that's the best part about the World Cup, right? Like, we sit here and we get people from Ghana, from Senegal, from France, from all places watching them on TV screens that we wouldn't get day to day. So,
yeah. Who are you going to go to any of the live games at all?
I wish, no. I'm like, every day I check, especially like we have a knockout game here for the quarters and the round of 32, I think. And so every day I check, just like hopeful that the price has gone down, but
I've got a spare ticket for the quarterfinal,
Well,
so let's stay in touch.
yeah,
Not the first player.
that'd be epic. But
Well, if things go to plan, it could be England there. So if
I know England Brazil would be a crazy. That's the one in my bracket. I have England Brazil in Miami, which that'll be a tough atmosphere. But then again, England would have to beat hopefully Mexico. I was born in Mexico, so
Oh, really?
yeah. But England would have to beat Mexico in Mexico City, which if you can do that, you can beat Brazil in Miami.
I've got a ticket for that game as well.
Oh, my
So
God.
I think that's going to be. I think that could be just extraordinary. And from
Yeah.
the British point of view, I feel like that could be the tripwire for England.
Yeah.
I think.
It's also like the accelerant. If you can go in there and keep your head and like really just dominate that game. Brazil, I think, is a little shaky when they're qualifying. They seem a little like hit or miss. That like,
Yeah.
if England can beat Mexico in Azteca or Mexico City Stadium,
He and the coaching staff.
I think they can. They'll win against Brazil.
But
But we'll see, because Brazil too. I think like Brazil. I was listening to someone earlier. Brazil does really well when there's no pressure, and it seems like this year the Brazilian media has been like, who cares? Like,
Dino Gomez.
so it'll be a good game. If it happens. Long way to go.
What's your
First
name?
weekend. Danny.
Danny, I'm Rob.
Nice to meet you.
Really great. I so appreciate your thoughtfulness. So that's really
Yeah,
good
of course.
conversation, of course. It's really good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
unfortunately, I'm sorry you're a Leeds fan, but you know, we all have our flaws.
We beat you twice.
I know. But next year, it's looking good. You gotta watch out. But like, I was really nervous about Carrick getting, yeah. I thought like, you think about the Ollie trap. That was my gut instinct. Was like, oh, we're signing another. I mean, he's my favorite Manchester United player for the past.
Solskjaer.
No, Carrick. Yeah, I think he's one of the most underrated midfielders.
Yeah.
But I got nervous, and then I thought, like, wait a second. Like, when Ollie was manager, we were doing great. The only thing that really messed up was because of the Glazer management, bringing in Ronaldo and just causing all kinds of ruckus. Like, he got us our best finish in 8 years or something like that, 5 years. Like,
For the U.S. at a World
things are
Cup.
great under Ollie. And then
For New
watching
York City
Carrick,
FC.
it's like been a breath of fresh air, and that like allows that freedom.
Yeah.
Especially with the new players we brought in, with Cunha and Fernandez, the way he's been playing.
Here we go. It's three.
Nice.
Doesn't have a cutback.
There you go. Yes.
Hillman there.
The game's barely been out of the attacking third of the USA in the Paraguay defense.
Making plays. Yeah, every guy.
Yeah, I mean,
making.
I hate to say it, but it is great to see. Well, I've really revelled in Man United's misery for a few years. It's been great to enjoy. And obviously, as a Leeds fan, to get those 4 points this year has been like the highlight of the year. But they're definitely on the up, I think, from an outside point of view.
What you want is like, and I feel the same way. Of like, what you want is like glorious matchups. Like, you want Leeds to be doing well and Manchester United. Yeah. So you have just an epic battle. You know, like fucking go back to the 1400s. Like, really where it all comes from.
Or the Rosa.
Yeah, like you want that. Like, you want it. You don't want like lopsided battle. Like, the only lopsided battle I want is against Arsenal. I hate Arsenal. I hope that next year they're terrible. That's the only thing.
So that's an interesting question then. So who is the USA soccer team's rival? Where does
Mexico.
that exist?
Mexico's the big, and that's weird. I was born in Mexico. My family's American. I was born an American citizen, but I was born in Mexico City, and so I've always had a very soft spot for Mexico. But that's our biggest one.
Here we go. Oh, it's gotta be. No! You said it. You said it.
Hey, why stop there? USA, 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 USA.
Wow. 3-0 for America. What a great start. I mean, what a great way to set the tournament alight. Maybe this will get some neutrals involved.
Yes. Yeah. That's the best part. Like, especially in Miami, there's so many neutrals.
Yeah.
So many countries that aren't represented in the World Cup. But for like American citizens who are born in other places, like, this gives you a team.
Maybe the Knicks can get it over the line and then everyone can focus on the soccer.
That would be epic.
Yeah. Great goal as well.
Yeah.
What a finish. Need one more there, buddy. Thank you. Here's to you. Thanks so much. Cheers. Good on you.
US 3-0 in the first set.
That's awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
You wouldn't know it, but Paraguay have just scored. With about 20 minutes to go, it's 3-1. Zero reaction here in the sports bar. But wow, what a conversation with Danny. Exactly the kind of conversation I was looking to have here. And I didn't brief him at all about the nature of the podcast, but he sort of brought it all together in ways that I can't. Really, really fascinating. And actually, when I turned off the camera, we sat chatting for another 20 minutes about the Premier League, Leeds United, American football. He was so knowledgeable. I think it's really interesting. He was talking about how his partner is totally on board with his fandom, not just of American soccer, but of Manchester United and sports. And they have great conversations about why he loves it so much. And he was making the analogy about the Netflix shows that she's really committed to, and saying that I know these characters as well as you know some of the characters from your favourite shows. I follow them, I'm invested in them, I want their stories to unfold. And it reminds me of Stage Door Athletic and the very founding premises. USA trying to get one back. So yeah, I mean, so interesting. We went on to talk about politics, and I guess my big takeaway from that conversation is the comment he made around the fact that the USA is a whole collection of states with very independent identities. And so when we talk about the USA from overseas, it's very easy to homogenize that as one country, but when you live here, people feel very, very independent in their states, have different relationships to nationalism, to patriotism, to their local area. I mean, we do as well, right? In the UK, I'm a Yorkshireman first, as well as an Englishman, a Scotsman, a Londoner. So maybe it's no different. But when you're distant, it's very easy just to distill all that down into one idea. And of course, we must never do that. This is a country of millions of people with loads of different perspectives. But a great night, great interview. I'm going to enjoy a beer and then head home. The heat's done for me. Wow, this pale half Scot is struggling with the heat. So I'm going to head home, have a good sleep, and see what tomorrow brings.